Are you tired of looking for manhwa that don't use the same few tropes? Great, because I got 5 unique manhwa recommendations for you. These aren't reverse isekai, regression, or super senior students built like brick shit houses trying to fight each other. Now, in no particular order, the first recommendation is Killer Peter with 53 chapters. Killer Peter is about a killer named Peter. No, but seriously though, the story revolves around an old man named Peter. He was originally part of an organization known for assassinations, espionage, and much more. He was the best of the best and gave his life to the organization, although age catches up to everyone at some point and Peter was no different. On top of that, he also had cancer, and so when the new head of the organization came in, he had set out to get rid of him. Although he evaded the eyes of the people who wanted him dead, his luck eventually ran out. Protecting a girl that had reminded him of his own painful memories, he was injured from a bullet. He luckily escaped, but his wound was fatal and he died. That was until the group that hunted him was met with an unknown young man who spoke as if he was old. Unbeknownst to them and unexpected for Peter, he was back and in his prime as well. Now his goal was to topple the old organization that wanted him dead, and he first needed to take care of the disciples, some of the strongest members within the organization to do that. Locker and Opener with 92 chapters. Locker and Opener is a modern thriller romance story about, you guessed it, 2 people with special powers to open and lock things. The thing is that the detective is the one who has the power to open things, while the criminal is the one who can lock things. Now, what if I told you that that detective can open your mind and have you confess to a crime that you promised you'd stay quiet about? Or that the criminal can lock every memory of your loved one because you got on their wrong side? The criminal doing this is actually the exact reason why the detective is on their case. Out of everyone they could have done this on, it just so happened to be a kid of all people. Let me tell you, the reasoning is even crazier. That's not even touching the fact that the detective can open, well, I'll leave that part for you to read. Fork and Knife with 54 chapters. Now, despite its odd name, Fork and Knife is actually a really solid action adventure story. You follow a young boy right after he just escaped his slavery and gave his master, an elven prince of the kingdom, a poke in the eye. Unfortunately for the boy, while running away, he falls into a den of monsters known for transforming their victims into beasts by biting them as they transplant a baby inside of them. His luck only gets worse when the elven commander drops into the hold to seek him out. Rather than outright kill him, the elven commander promises to get the baby out of him and that he'll come under his wing. Don't get it confused though, this wasn't an act of mercy or empathy. This man is twisted beyond belief. We just saw him hang up the king of humans on a cross and force him to watch his army get slaughtered, and the commander just smiled with pure joy. Someone pray for this boy. He's going to need it. Zombie X Slasher with 65 chapters. Zombie X Slasher takes place in a post-apocalyptic South Korea overrun with zombies. Busan is the last remaining defense left in South Korea. As bad as the situation outside of it is, the situation inside doesn't look much better. For most, they have to scrounge to survive or do back-breaking labor in order to stay afloat. That was the life of our main character, Cho-Soo Kim, until he decided to become a slasher. Slashers are people who decide to make money by killing zombies, usually attaching themselves to a company. By all means, it's not easy work. On top of hordes of zombies, you also have to deal with mutated zombies who pale in comparison to a normal horde when it comes to how dangerous they are. Fortunately for Chiosu, his first mission isn't as crazy as surviving against a mutant, rather it's surviving in general, because the train that took him to the station just left and framed as a sacrifice for the greater good, and he's got nothing but a few shovels he stole to defend with. That brings me to my last pick. Corpse Knight Gunther with 90 chapters. An extremely well done fantasy action story about the last bastion of humanity facing vampires. A group of humans finally found a dead body they were seeking, a warrior known as Gunther, a man who has a record of 228 wins and 0 losses. Reviving his body, they found that Gunther is not exactly a nice person, to say the least. At his core, he's about self-preservation and probably would sacrifice a group if it meant he'd survive, although this attitude doesn't exactly work with his current situation completely when he has a maximum of 2 hours to live. Due to his new modified body, Aryan is the only human in existence that has been successfully experimented on and can give him blood to survive. Although Gunther was revived to kill vampires, the vampires in this series are far from what you would think are regular vampires. In fact, the first actual high-ranking vampire he faces is this amalgamation of faces that somehow seem to be moving. To be honest with you, it only gets worse from there on out. I don't even want to talk about the hand guy. By all means though, I think you should find out about the hand guy and the other things that are not your typical vampires. Also, side note, the series is going on Daily Pass for Webtoon on October 24th, so if you're watching this video before then, I suggest you snag the chance to binge read it.